The Noble Mahayana Samghata Sutra Dharma Paryaya. In the language of India, Arya Samghata Sutra Dharma Paryaya. In the language of Tibet, Pakpa Sungidoi Chogi Namdrang. Homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus I have heard at one time. The Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture's Peak, together with a great assembly of 32,000 monks, including the Venerable Ajñata Kaundinya, the Venerable Mahamadgalyayana, the Venerable Shariputra, the Venerable Mahakashapa, the Venerable Rahula, the Venerable Bakula, the Venerable Bhadrapala, the Venerable Bhadrashri, the Venerable Chandanashri, the Venerable Jangula, the Venerable Subhuti, the Venerable Revata, the Venerable Nandasena, and so forth, and together with 62,000 bodhisattvas, including the Bodhisattva, the great being Maitreya, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashura, the Bodhisattva, the great being Kumarashri, the Bodhisattva, the great being Kumaravasan, the Bodhisattva, the great being Kumarabhadra, the Bodhisattva, the great being Anuna, the Bodhisattva, the great being Manjushri, the Bodhisattva, the great being Samantabhadra, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sudarshana, the Bodhisattva, the great being Bhaishajasena, the Bodhisattva, the great being Vajrasena, and so forth, and together with 12,000 Devasans, including the Devasan Arjuna, the Devasan Bhadra, the Devasan Subhadra, the Devasan Dharmaruchi, the Devasan Chandanagarbha, the Devasan Chandanavasin, the Devasan Chandana, and so forth, and together with 8,000 Deva-daughters, including the Deva-daughter Murdamgini, the Deva-daughter Prasadavati, the Deva-daughter Mahatma Samprayukta, the Deva-daughter called Glorious Eye, the Deva-daughter Prajapati Vasini, the Deva-daughter Balini, the Deva-daughter called Glorious Wealth, the Deva-daughter Subahuyukta, and so forth, and together with 8,000 Naga kings, including the Naga king Apalala, the Naga king Elapatra, the Naga king Timingila, the Naga king Kumbhasara, the Naga king Kumbhashirsha, the Naga king called Causing Virtue, the Naga king Sunanda, the Naga king Sushakha, the Naga king Gavashirsha, and so forth. All of them proceeded to Rajagriha, to Vulture's Peak, where the Blessed One was. When they reached there, they prostrated with their heads at the feet of the Blessed One, circumambulated the Blessed One 3 times, and then they all sat down in front of the Blessed One. The Blessed One assented to their presence by remaining silent. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashura, arose, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, placed his palms together, and bowed down to the Blessed One. He addressed the Blessed One as follows. Blessed One, 1,000,000 Devas, 1,000,000 daughters of Devas, and many millions of Bodhisattvas have gathered. Blessed One, many millions of Shravakas and also Naga kings have gathered and are seated to hear the Dharma. That being so, may the Tathagata, the Arhat, the perfect and complete Buddha, please teach that sort of approach into the ways of Dharma through which, as soon as they hear it, old sentient beings will purify all their karmic obstacles, and young sentient beings will make great effort at virtuous Dharma and will attain special superiority, and their virtuous actions will not degenerate, will not at all degenerate, and will not become at all degenerated. He said this, and the Blessed One spoke thus to the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashura. Sarvashura, that you thought to ask the Tathagata about this point is good, very good. Therefore, Sarvashura, listen well and attentively, and keep it in mind, and I will tell you. Having said to the Blessed One just so, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashura, listened with full attention to the Blessed One. The Blessed One spoke thus to him. Sarvashura, there is a Dharma Paryaya called Samghata that even now is still active on this planet Earth. Whoever hears this Samghata Dharma Paryaya will have their 5 uninterrupted karmas purified, and they will never turn away from unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Sarvashura, what do you think about this? If you think that those who hear this Samghata Sutra will produce as much as the mass of merit of one Tathagata, you should not see it like that. Sarvashura said, well then, how should it be seen? The Blessed One said, Sarvashura, those bodhisattvas, great beings, will also produce as much a mass of merit as the masses of merit of as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, as grains of sand in the Ganges River. Sarvashura, those who hear this Samghata Dharma Paryaya will never turn away. They will see the Tathagata. They will never be separated from seeing the Tathagata. They will be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. The virtuous dharmas that they will all achieve will not be overpowered by the wicked Mara. Sarvashuddha, all those who hear this Samghata Sutra will understand arising and cessation. Then, at that moment, all of those bodhisattvas arose, placed their upper robe over one shoulder, set their right knee on the ground, and asked of the Blessed One, Blessed One, how much is the massive merit of one Tathagata? The Blessed One spoke as follows, Children of the lineage, listen to the measure of the massive merit of one Buddha. It is as follows. To make an analogy, as great as is the massive merit of as many bodhisattvas abiding on the 10 levels, as there are drops of water in the great ocean, and particles of dust on the planet Earth, and grains of sand in the Ganges River, the massive merit of one Buddha is much greater than that. As for those sentient beings who hear the Samghata Dharma Pariyaya, the massive merit they will produce is much greater even than that. It is not possible to realize the limit of that massive merit by counting. Sarvashuddha, anyone who feels great joy at the moment when they hear these words, will produce an immeasurable massive merit. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, who are those sentient beings who thirst tremendously for the Dharma? After he said this, the Blessed One spoke as follows to the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha. Sarvashuddha, there are 2 sentient beings who thirst tremendously for the Dharma. If you wonder which those 2 are, Sarvashuddha, they are as follows. One has an equal mind toward all sentient beings. The second, Sarvashuddha, is anyone who, after hearing the Dharma, reveals it correctly and fully to all sentient beings equally. The Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, said, Blessed One, who, after hearing the Dharma, reveals it correctly and fully to all sentient beings equally? The Blessed One said, Sarvashuddha, the first of those who, having heard the Dharma, wholly dedicate themselves to enlightenment. When one has wholly dedicated oneself to enlightenment, one thirsts tremendously for Dharma for the sake of sentient beings. Sarvashuddha, the second are those who enter into the Mahayana. They are also always tremendously thirsty for the Dharma. Then the millions of devas, nagas, humans, and deva daughters arose, placed their palms together in front of the Blessed One, and addressed the Blessed One as follows. Blessed One, we too are tremendously thirsty for the Dharma. That being so, may the Blessed One completely fulfill our wishes and the wishes of all sentient beings. At that time, at that moment, the Blessed One displayed a smile. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, arose, placed his palms together, and bowed down to the Blessed One. He addressed the Blessed One as follows. Blessed One, what is the cause of your smile? What is the condition? Then the Blessed One spoke to the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha. Sarvashuddha, those sentient beings who came here will be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. They will attain the full establishment of the objects of enjoyment of a Tathagata. The Bodhisattva Sarvashuddha said, Blessed One, due to what cause and what condition will the sentient beings who came here be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment? The Blessed One said, It is good, Sarvashuddha, very good that you thought to ask the Tathagata about this point. Therefore, Sarvashuddha, listen to the distinctive qualities of dedication. Sarvashuddha, at a time long past, countless eons ago, a Tathagata, an Arhat, a perfect and complete Buddha named Ratnashri, endowed with knowledge and good conduct, gone to bliss, knower of the world, unsurpassed guide of beings to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, a Buddha, a Blessed One, arose in the world. Sarvashuddha, at that time, at that moment, I was a Brahmin youth. All those sentient beings whom I was leading to the gnosis of a Buddha at that time, at that moment, had become wild animals. And so at that time, at that moment, I made this prayer. May all the wild animals who are now completely tormented by suffering be reborn in my Buddha field. May I establish them all in the gnosis of a Buddha. And all those wild animals, having heard those words, said, May it be so. Sarvashuddha, by this root of virtue, these sentient beings have come here and will be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Thereupon, after hearing this greatly joyful thing from the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, what lifespan is possible for those sentient beings? The Blessed One said, A lifespan of 80 eons is possible for those sentient beings. The Bodhisattva Sarvashuddha said, Blessed One, how much is the measure of an eon? The Blessed One said, "Child of the lineage, listen, it is as follows. To make an analogy, a man built an enclosure 12 yojanas in circumference and 3 yojanas in height, and completely filled that enclosure with nothing but sesame seeds. Then, whenever 1,000 years had passed, that man cast a single sesame seed out from that enclosure that was completely filled with sesame seeds. In such a manner, even when that man comes to the end of all those sesame seeds, and even the foundation and base of that enclosure no longer exist, still an eon would not have come to an end. Moreover, Sarvashuddha, it is as follows. To make an analogy, there is a mountain 50 yojanas in depth and some 12 yojanas in height. Then a man built a house on the side of that mountain, and for a long time, when 100 years passed, that man would wipe it once with a cloth of Benares muslin. By his doing so, the mountain would come to an end, but even after it had, still an eon would not have come to an end. Sarvashuddha, that is the measure of an eon. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, arose and addressed the Blessed One. Blessed One, if even one dedication produces a large mass of merit, such that the lifespan of a happy life can become 80 eons, what need could there be to mention someone who offers an extremely great amount of reverential service to the teachings of the Tathagata? The Blessed One said, "Listen, child of the lineage. If anyone who hears the Sanghata Dharma Pariyaya is able to have a lifespan of 84,000 eons, what need is there to mention one who has the Sanghata Sutra written out and who reads it? Sarvashuddha, that one will produce an extremely large mass of merit. Sarvashuddha, anyone who has a mind inspired with pure faith and makes heartfelt prostrations to the Sanghata Sutra will remember their past lives for 95 eons. They will become a wheel-turning king for 60 eons. Even in that lifetime, everyone will like them. Sarvashuddha, their death will not be brought about by weapons. Their death will not be brought about by poison. They will not be harmed by black magic. Even at their time of death, they will see 99 million Buddhas directly, and Sarvashuddha, those Buddhas, those blessed ones, will say to that person, "Holy being, because you have heard the great Sanghata Sutra Dharma Pariyaya explained well, therefore this mass of merit was created." And those 99 million Buddhas, the blessed ones, in their individual world systems, will also make a prediction. If this is so, Sarvashuddha, what need is there to mention anyone who hears all of this great Sanghata Sutra Dharma Pariyaya completely and extensively? Not only that, they will reassure that person, saying, "Do not fear." At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, when I too listen to the great Sanghata Sutra Dharma Pariyaya, what mass of merit will I produce, Blessed One?" The Blessed One said, "Sarvashuddha, that sentient being too will produce a mass of merit as much as the merit of the number of Buddhas, Tathagatas, equaling the grains of sand in the Ganges River." He said, "Blessed One, when I listen to the great Sanghata Sutra Dharma Pariyaya, I can't get enough of it." The Blessed One said, "Sarvashuddha, it is good, very good, that you are unable to get enough of Dharma teachings. Sarvashuddha, since I too am unable to get enough of Dharma teachings, Sarvashuddha, what need to mention that ordinary beings do not get enough? Sarvashuddha, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who generates faith in the Mahayana will not go to wrong migrations for 1,000 eons. For 5,000 eons they will not be born as an animal. For 12,000 eons they will not be bad-minded. For 18,000 eons they will not be born among beings in a remote region. For 20,000 eons they will be courageous and giving. For 25,000 eons they will be born in the world of devas. For 35,000 eons they will engage in the practice of celibacy. For 40,000 eons they will renounce the householder's way of life. For 50,000 eons they will uphold the Dharma, and for 65,000 eons they will meditate on mindfulness of death. Sarvashuddha, not even the slightest bad karma will occur to that son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage. The wicked Maras will find no opportunity with them. They will never be born in the womb of a mother. Sarvashuddha, those who hear this Dharma Pariyaya, no matter where they are born, for 95 countless eons will not fall into wrong realms. For 8,000 eons they will retain what they have heard. For 1,000 eons they will abandon killing. For 99,000 eons they will abandon telling lies. For 13,000 eons they will abandon divisive speech. Sarvashuddha, sentient beings who have heard this Dharma Pariyaya are rare. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, arose, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, placed his palms together, and bowed down to the Blessed One. He said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, how large a mass of bad karma will those who reject this Dharmapariyaya produce? The Blessed One said, Sarvashura, it is much. He said, Blessed One, how large a mass of bad karma will those sentient beings produce? The Blessed One said, Be quiet, Sarvashura, be quiet. Do not ask me about the masses of bad karma. Sarvashura, compared to generating ill will toward as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, as there are grains of sand in 12 Ganges rivers, those who disparage the Samghata Sutra will produce a far greater mass of non-virtue. Sarvashura, those who generate ill will toward the Mahayana will also produce a far greater mass of non-virtue than that. Sarvashura, those sentient beings are burnt. They are just burnt. Sarvashura asked, Blessed One, is it not possible to liberate these sentient beings? The Blessed One said, That is so, Sarvashura. It is impossible to liberate them. Sarvashura, it is as follows. To make an analogy, if someone were to cut off a man's head, if that person were to apply as a poultice to his head either honey or sugar or molasses or butter or vegetable oil or any medicinal poultice, what do you think about this, Sarvashura? Would this person be able to rise up again? Sarvashura said, Blessed One, this cannot be. The Blessed One said, Moreover, Sarvashura, there would also be another man. When he struck another sentient being with a sharp weapon, although he was unable to kill him by striking one blow, Sarvashura, a wound would occur. If medicine were applied, his wound would heal. At the time when he is revived, recalling the suffering, that man would think, Now I understand, and therefore at no time will I create wicked, non-virtuous karma. Just like the one who reflects in this way, Sarvashura, when that man recalls suffering, he completely abandons wickedness. At that time, all the Dharma becomes manifest. When all the Dharma has become manifest, at that time he will bring to completion all the virtuous Dharma teachings. Sarvashura, it is as follows. To make an analogy, just as the parents of a man who died grieve and lament, but nevertheless have no ability to protect him, in the same way, Sarvashura, childish ordinary individuals are also unable to help themselves or others. Like those parents whose hopes were dashed, these sentient beings too will have their hopes dashed at the time of death. Sarvashura, there are two sentient beings whose hopes have been dashed. Who are the two? They are as follows. One is a sentient being who does wicked actions or has them done. The other is one who abandons the holy Dharma. Both these sentient beings have their hopes dashed at their time of death. The Bodhisattva Sarvashura said, Blessed One, what is the migration path of these sentient beings? What is their life afterwards? The Blessed One said, Sarvashura, limitless are the migrations of sentient beings who disparage the holy Dharma. Limitless too are their future lives. Sarvashura, sentient beings who abandon the holy Dharma will experience feelings for an eon in the sentient being's great hell of lamentation, for an eon in the crushing hell, an eon in the hot hell, an eon in the extremely hot hell, an eon in the great hell of black lines, an eon in the great hell of Avicii, an eon in the great hell called hair rising, an eon in the great hell of calling out alas, and Sarvashura, they will have to experience the sufferings of these 8 great hells for 8 eons. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashura, said the following to the Blessed One. Blessed One, it is suffering. Sugata, it is suffering. Hearing of it is not joyful. Then the Blessed One at that time uttered these verses. How beings in the being's hell experience such sufferings, greatly fearsome words like these you find no joy in hearing. For those who do virtuous actions, goodness is what comes to pass. For those who do non-virtuous actions, that becomes suffering indeed. Those who do not know happiness' cause, once they are born, will be tormented by death, and by the pain of their bondage to grief. These childish ones will always suffer. Those who recall the Buddha as supreme, these skillful ones indeed are happy. Those who have faith in the Mahayana too will not go to bad migrations. Sarvashura, in just this way, propelled by previous karma, those who have done merely a small deed will experience endless results. In the Buddha field, the supreme field, if one plants a seed, great will be the fruit. Just as many fruits are enjoyed from planting but a few seeds, so those who delight in the conqueror's teachings, these skillful ones indeed are happy. They abandon wicked deeds and create much virtue too. Anyone who gives to my teachings an offering of even just a mere hair will for 80,000 eons have great possessions and much wealth too. Wherever it is that they are born, they will always be generous. Thus, greatly fruitful is the Buddha, a profound place for giving. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, how should one seek out the Dharma taught by the Blessed One? Blessed One, how will one take firm hold of the roots of virtue after hearing the Samghata Sutra Dharmapariyaya? The Blessed One said, Sarvashuddha, one should know that the massive merit of one who listens to the Samghata Sutra Dharmapariyaya is just like offering reverential service to as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, as there are grains of sand in 12 Ganges rivers, providing them with everything required for their happiness. The Bodhisattva Sarvashuddha said, Blessed One, how are the roots of virtue to be brought to completion? He asked this, and the Blessed One said to the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, These roots of virtue are to be understood to be equal to a Tathagata. What are these roots of virtue that are to be understood to be equal to a Tathagata? The Blessed One said, An orator of the Dharma is to be understood to be equal to a Tathagata. Sarvashuddha said, Blessed One, who is an orator of the Dharma? Anyone who reads out the Samghata Sutra is an orator of the Dharma. Sarvashuddha said, Blessed One, since even those who hear the Samghata Sutra Dharmapariyaya will produce such a massive merit, what need is there to mention those who write it out and read it? How much a massive merit will they produce? The Blessed One said, Sarvashuddha, listen, it is as follows. To make an analogy, in each of the 4 directions, as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas as there are grains of sand in 12 Ganges rivers, could sit and teach the Dharma for 12 eons. Yet even if they described the massive merit of the one writing out the Samghata Sutra, they would not be able to comprehend its end nor express it in words. If even as many Buddhas, blessed ones, as there are grains of sand in 48 Ganges rivers, are unable to express the massive merit of the one writing it out, what need is there to mention that whoever writes it out or reflects on it or reads it will become a treasury of the Dharma? The Bodhisattva Sarvashuddha said, Blessed One, how much will be the massive merit of the one who reads it? Then at that time the Blessed One spoke these verses. As for the virtues of those who have read one mere stanza of 4 lines, though conquerors as many as grains of sand in 84 of the Ganges rivers should describe uninterruptedly all the merit of those who have read the Sutra, the Samghata, still that merit would not run out. The Dharma taught by enlightened ones is hard to find and limitless. At the time, and at that moment as well, 84 hundreds of thousands of myriad millions of devas placed their palms together and bowed down toward where the teaching of the Samghata Sutra Dharmapariyaya was. They said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, for whatever purpose the Blessed One deposited such a Dharma treasury on this planet Earth, it is good, very good. 1,800,000 myriad millions of naked ascetics from other traditions arrived at the place where the Blessed One was and said to the Blessed One, Ascetic Gautama, Sir, be victorious. The Blessed One said, The Tathagata is always victorious. Sirs, heretical nudists, how could you heretics be victorious? They said, May you be victorious, ascetic Gautama, may you be victorious. The Blessed One said, I see no victor amongst you. If you abide in a wrong way, how are you to be victors? You naked ones, listen as I express something to benefit you. To a childish mind there is nothing pleasant. How are you to be victors? Therefore with a Buddha eye, I will teach also the profound path. Then those naked ascetics became angry at the Blessed One and generated a mind of disbelief. At that time, at that moment, Indra, the Lord of the Devas, wielded his thunderbolt. At that, those 18 million naked ascetics were overcome with fear and stricken with great suffering. They wept, and their tears began to flow. The Blessed One also made his body disappear, and at that the naked ascetics sobbed, and their faces filled with tears. Not seeing the Blessed One, they spoke these verses. There is no friend to defend us here, likewise no father and no mother. What we see is like a wilderness, no vacant house or place to stay. Nor is there even water here, there are no trees nor any birds. Here no living beings are seen, with no protector we feel suffering. Since we do not see the Tathagata, what we experience is greatly unbearable. Then at that time too, the 18 million naked ascetics arose and knelt with both feet on the ground. They raised their voices and sang out, Tathagata, endowed with compassion, complete Buddha, supreme among humans, please do what will benefit us. Be the refuge for beings in despair. Then the Blessed One displayed a smile and said to the Bodhisattva Sarvashuddha, Sarvashuddha, go and explain the Dharma to the heretical naked ascetics from other traditions. He spoke thus, and the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, if the Black Mountain demolishes its boulders, prostrating with its peak to Mount Sumeru, the king of mountains, how am I to teach the Dharma while the Tathagata is present? The Blessed One said, Be quiet, child of the lineage. The skillful means of the Buddhas are many, so go, Sarvashuddha. Look among the world systems in the 10 directions and see where Tathagatas are appearing and where their seats set up. Sarvashuddha, I myself will teach the Dharma to the heretical naked ascetics from other traditions. The Bodhisattva Sarvashuddha said, Blessed One, by whose supernatural power shall I go? By means of my own supernatural power, or rather by the supernatural power of the Tathagata? The Blessed One said, Sarvashuddha, go by the blessing of the strength of your own supernatural power. Sarvashuddha, come back by the Tathagata's supernatural power. Then the Bodhisattva Sarvashuddha arose, circumambulated the Blessed One, and disappeared on that very spot. Then the Blessed One taught the Dharma to those heretics from other traditions. Friends, birth is suffering. Birth itself is also suffering. Once one is born, there arise many fears of suffering. From birth, fears of sickness arise. From sickness, fears of aging arise. From aging, fears of death arise. Blessed One, what is it to say that from birth, fear of being born will be born? From being born as a human, many fears arise. Fear of the king arises. Fear of thieves arises. Fear of fire arises. Fear of poison arises. Fear of water arises. Fear of wind arises. Fear of whirlpools arises. Fear of the actions one has done arises. The Blessed One taught the Dharma in many forms, such as this topic of birth, and at that time, at that moment, the heretical naked ascetics from other traditions were utterly terrified and said, From now on we will never again aspire to be born. When the Blessed One explained the Samghata Sutra Dharmapariyaya, the 18 million heretical naked ascetics from other traditions fully completed the unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment. From his own retinue as well, 18,000 bodhisattvas were established on the 10 grounds, and they all emanated supernatural displays as well, such as the form of a horse, the form of an elephant, the form of a tiger, the form of a Garuda, the form of Mount Sumeru, and forms like the pattern of a swastika, and some displayed the form of a tree. They all sat cross-legged on lotus thrones as well. 9,000 million bodhisattvas sat down to the right of the Blessed One. 9,000 million bodhisattvas sat down to the left of the Blessed One, and the Blessed One remained in meditative equipoise the entire time and appeared to teach the Dharma through skillful means. On the 7th day, the Blessed One stretches out the palm of his hand and knows that the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, is coming there from the Padmottara world system. When the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvashuddha, was going to the Padmottara world system, by the blessing of the strength of his own supernatural powers, he arrived there in 7 days. When the Blessed One stretched out his hand, at that time the Bodhisattva Sarvashuddha was in the presence of the Blessed One. After circumambulating the Blessed One 3 times, his mind became inspired with pure faith in the Blessed One. He placed his palms together, bowed down to the Blessed One, and said this to the Blessed One, Blessed One, when I went to all the world systems of the 10 directions, Blessed One, by one of my supernatural powers, I saw 99,000 million Buddha fields, and by 2 supernatural powers I saw 1,000 million Blessed Ones. On the 7th day, I arrived at the Padmottara world system, and on the way I also saw hundreds of thousands of millions of unshakable Buddha fields. Then, Blessed One, first I saw the supernatural displays of the Buddhas, the Blessed Ones, and I saw Tathagatas teaching the Dharma in 92,000 million Buddha fields. And on that very day, in 80,000 million Buddha fields, I saw 80,000 million Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas arising in the world. After making prostrations to all those Blessed Ones, I went further. Blessed One, on that very day, I passed 39,000 million Buddha fields, and in those 39,000 million Buddha fields, there also arose 39,000 million Bodhisattvas. And on that very day, they were completely enlightened in the unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment. I circumambulated those Blessed Ones, Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas 3 times, and became invisible by means of supernatural power.